All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's King Cat, and it's time for the King Cat Catfish Tyler Show. We're going to get things going. Hey, welcome, everyone. Welcome. Congratulations, all of you who happen to be long on this stock SOFI, because we're rocking today, aren't we? Let's get on over to that King Catfish Tyler, take things at the helm. And folks, we'll be right back, okay? You hang tight now. I'll be back here in a little while. I got some drifting around to do, looking for things here on the bottom. Adios, amigos. Well, hello, everybody. Hello, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Want to say thank you very much for showing up, checking out what we got going on. And I got to change this title, and it's not going to be a SOFI high or low, high or high today. We are going to see higher high maybe, but what we're seeing, folks, looks very good. I'm just going to just put that SOFI question higher high. How? Why? That sounds good. Welcome, all of you. Going to change that title right now. And let's get on over here to what's really happening with SOFI stock. And got some exciting things going on. As obviously with the price where we are right now, that looks very good. So let's get over here to this page. And I'm going to get right on this. We'll close out some other things I have here don't need. And but I got to take care of a little bit of business here while I'm here with you. I'm going to be doing a couple of things here. And get down in my chat room and just say, welcome all fellow cats. And I might have to have this screen change display, but there we are. Now we're over here. And we go, welcome all fellow chats. Cats. And keep things fine. We'll all be fine if you're kind. Keep things kind. We'll all be fine, is what I meant to say. Keep things kind. And there you go. We got to start with that. Let's just keep things kind, civil, no name calling or anything like that and coming on. No bashing is allowed here. None of that stuff goes on. We're just here to welcome everybody that's here with me because, well, I'm supposed to call you when we get to the bottom, but some interesting things have been occurring here. And so I figured I'd come on right now when we were at the top. So if you got any guys want to shave anything off who bought at $7.89, maybe here and we buy back at $8.13 during lunchtime. Okay, that's something I just want to suggest to you. You don't have to do it, but to cha-ching a little bit of money there's nothing wrong with that. Especially if you feel like it might be being worked up, just like it was worked up to 11.70. Went over and listened to my buddy Hurricane Lopez yesterday. And he was talking, someone had mentioned I should watch his day before's video, so I did. And I could see why, because it was very good. And I mentioned it because he's pointed out some very good things on his charts. His target price on SOFI is below where I am. He's around the 970, 960, 70 range. And that's fine because it's still up from where we are. And there are many other analysts with very high scores who aren't quite as conservative. They're saying as much as 12. We've seen an increase to 12 now, an increase to 16. And one by James Ford, who put together a very nice presentation regarding all the things that are going on in the kitchen of SOFI that mean it might be worth 20. All right, so we've got a lot of good things to be looking at here today, and one of them I hope is going to see a higher high. Now, you can see right out of the gate, in my opinion, they had a determination that the only way they were going to be able to achieve a higher low instead of another higher low, a lower low than yesterday, was to come right out of the gate. And that's exactly what they did. But boy, that sure didn't last long. All those shares that they threw out to get that number 806 there, see, that's 2 cents below day before yesterday. They were trying to get to it yesterday. They only achieved 811, right? And I had already told you they're going to try to go after the low if they can't get the high. So today, it appears to me, they got the low, which they went after, and we're going to see the high raise higher. And it doesn't surprise me at all to see what happened there, because that's the way they start doing it. When it starts these long gauge moves up, they either get one or the other. And I told you this, I've been telling everybody this, they'll go for the low and or they'll go for the high. But the overall result ends up being higher and higher and higher each day, even though they try to pull one or the other down to make it look good. to make themselves feel good. You know, look what they got to, 8:06. Wow, forget about the fact that it's already 8:24, 30 minutes later, right? And if anybody bought that number, congratulations. I was busy this morning, and I had my beautiful wife went out and got me a bunch of new stuff. I got me a new shirt, a new Michigan State shirt here, folks. I got to go with my cup, and so that's very cool. She's going around getting the good deals that they have out there right before fall here in Michigan. Boy, they start wiping out the shorts and stuff. I got some new shorts and new shirts, and yay, a new wardrobe coming for me because my fashion guru wife, by the way, go listen to one of my songs on YouTube called The Nagging Song. Now, that's not about my wife, I want you to know, but there are some similarities about not being able to go out with the right clothes on, okay? And that's the only thing I'll say about that. But at any rate, hey, I'm just glad you're here with me. Thank you for joining me. Hey, all right, we got here. Good morning, fish. Yes, all right. And we got to put some happiness on that. Thank you for being here, Heirloom Cedar. I appreciate your presence and your comment. And I was thinking, how many shorts will fail to deliver? Yeah, LOL, isn't that supposed to be a no-no? Yeah. Well, see, they fail to deliver, but then they go ahead and they just pay the interest, see? And that's what they've been doing since the price was all the way back to the 450 range when they shorted it on C Day. I call it. I've changed my name for them. I like what Hurricane Lopez calls them, which is very cool. I think it's apropos. But he calls them Chia. Chivrini is Chia Pet. So Chia Pet, he calls them. I've started another one, Chia Pansy Day. We might have Chia Pansy or Chimpanzee or whatever. But anyway, look at this thing just going right on up. And folks, we're going to go to a new higher high today, is my opinion. We'll see if I'm right, but we may not, okay? Because if you go back to the historical, and let's just do that real quick. Let's go here back to Sofi. You know how I like to string these out and show things. I like to make sure people understand that, folks, this thing isn't just going to go right up. That's not the way they do. That's not how stocks work. For anybody to expect that to be the case would just be naive. But that's what's going to happen primarily with SoFi for the next month and a half. But there'll be hiccups and catches and pullbacks. There'll be downgrades again, too. There'll be downgrades. More will come. All these upgrades we've been seeing, well, now we're starting to see the fruit coming in on the vine. And it's just early. We're just seeing the little tiny, if you're looking at grapes, you know, you can just barely see the tiny little BB size formation right here is what we're looking at, folks. Just be calm, patient, wait. Those of you like Shaniza are worried, and I understandably worried about seeing a price drop about 25 to 30%. That's scary. But there you go. Once they got it there, they've started turning it around, and we're seeing it now make the progression up, and it'll be a 45% gain or even higher this time, and maybe even at a faster speed. I showed some relevance to people the other day, and I'll be happy to show it to you if you want to see it there, Heirloom Cedar, of what happened back on May the 5th and how it's comparing to now. And we're seeing bigger gains after that 30% drop last time. It's at a faster rate. It's actually accelerating here. I point this out by showing these things to you on the chart, which I will. So here we're going to go to SoFi historical data, and we'll get to that here in just a second, all right? That's what we want to get to, historical data. And again, I want to thank you for being here. I want to say thank you to Hurricane Lopez. We dialogue back and forth a little bit. He came over and visited my channel and put some good words down for me on his. So I want to do the same thing right here on my live feed. Go check out Hurricane Lopez. People, I spelled it wrong, P-E-Z. People. And he's not pulling any strings. That's right. There you go. And I'll just post that right now. Give him that. And by the way, like I said, we don't even know each other other than having a few little things that we've said back and forth on comments on each other's videos. And so there's no connection between us. We don't assimilate us, but we are the like mind. in many ways, and I show some different things from what other people show, but he shows different things, and so we're getting a lot of different angles. And folks, by the way, when it comes to angles, we'll get over here to this chart here in a second, but let me not get too distracted, because I like to keep my first page, the summary page, and look at that, it's beautiful. Then I like to go my second page to my historical data page, and then on my third page, I like to keep my chart, right? So, but what we're looking at here, for one thing, the volume looks nice, all right? We got very good volume, steady, slow, constant, and folks, we're 20 cents away from yesterday's high. And watch how close I think that we'll come to going over this. And the reason I do, now I don't know that for a fact, and I can't guarantee it. And to me, it really doesn't matter. I just like seeing that we're going to close green today. Don't you, folks? Don't you, folks? From where we were just buying, 789, and many of us that are here since in the 4s, and there are many that are in the 10s and even close to 11. We'll get it all back. You'll see. It'll all come to fruition. The fruit is, like I said, just a little BB on there, the grapes. Right now, SOFI's earning report was rock solid. Here's why the stock is still a screaming buy. Love good top story that's still there after 2 days. And I want to also let you know, I want to say to all of you, thank you so much for being here. And I really do appreciate your presence, and you're telling people, and you're liking my video and getting it out there in the eyes of other people. I think that's important. Now, what I want to show some of you here today is when we go back to this historical data chart, and I showed this briefly yesterday, but for those of you that weren't here, I'm going to show you, and there will be others that might find this quite interesting, the parallels that we're seeing right now. And I am just very, very pleased to see this accelerating right now off the low of 31.5% down. And I want to show you something else here, folks. Let's just jump to this page here and jump to this 1 month chart. All right. And what I want you to see here is we're actually going to go to this chart. Okay. And what I've shown people using this historical data, if you go back here to May the 1st, okay, and you see that the price on the day of earnings scaled up from the day before from 623 to 652 right at the open, a 29% rise, and then it went up even a little higher before they came at it with all this volume for 4 days in a row, all right, and then they had it down to 459. So that right there, that reduction to right there is 31%, folks. And it really isn't. It's about 29 there, but when they got it down to 445 on what I call Chimpanzee Day, then that was the day that they really had it down about 31%. 31 and a half almost. Well, guess what, folks? From there, within 1 month, the price had gone from 445 up 55% to 1023. So why I say this is because, to start with, somehow they mysteriously ran it down on May the 1st, 20-something percent, 27% on May the 1st alone, and then it went on down and fell for a full 30. So how much did they make on that 30% if they shorted it here at 654? Well, they made 30% right there. They made over 30% by the time it had gotten to Chivrini Day. They were over 30% profit. Then it went up 55%. So they had made 80-something percent, 85% profit, because they probably, what did they do when it got to this number 445? They bought long like our CEO did, like Anthony Noto did, right? That's right. They bought long. They had already made 30% on the decline. They bought long at 445. They made 55%, now up 80-something percent. Ran it back down to 771, which is 24%, because they shorted it here at 1023. Made another 24%, and from 771, it went right back up here to 1013. See that? That's another 24% gain, by the way, folks. You just keep adding these gains up, and after 1013, look where they knocked it down to 2 days before the earnings, 894. That's an 11% gain. I've done these all over, and then from 11% gain, they went to, I didn't even do this one and remember it. It went to 1170, folks, from here, and they were already like 150% up on the stock at that number, and it went to 1170. All right, so does that all make sense to you now? And then here on this one, by the way, they didn't fight the volume. They let it run up. They ran with it, and they made money off that 894 buy. And they made good money on it because, man, look how heavy they came in compared to the last time on May the 1st. Look at the volume here on May the 1st. Look here, the volume was only 125. And then this time, they piled in on it to run it up. Folks, they piled in on it to 210. Almost, 90 million more, not 85 million more? All right. Well, cha-ching, cha-ching for them. But what I try to get to is the fact that after every one of these prices that they dropped it so far, it's made a great gain off the lowest low. And the last time the gain off of it was 55%. That was the day that they ran it down on May the 15th to 445. And within 1 month, it made a 55% gain. Okay. And then this time again, they finally reached another lowest low, much, much higher than 445. Right? This time they got it only descended to what was the price? 789. Right? Not 445. And that's a far cry from the 445 day. The call was David Chia Pansy said that it was going to be $2.50 a share, didn't he? Mysteriously, this guy with no credit score rating of any validity or accuracy whatsoever. Right? And look at this thing just going right on up. Just going right on up, folks. Beautiful. Love it. Congratulations to everybody who is with me on this, and this makes sense to see the differences. And I ran down some numbers just to show you some people. And we're going to keep track of this volume today. We're going to keep track of the lunchtime low because the lunchtime low, 4 days back, 818. 3 days back, 818. 2 days back, 808. Yesterday, 822 was the date. Yesterday, 811. All right. And today, do you think it's going to be 811? Doesn't look like it. I don't think so. Just saying, things look pretty good for us right here at this stage of the game. But then again, I've already noted to you, usually don't start coming at this till 11:15 or so. And they go at 11:15 all the way into 12:15, 12:30. Sometimes push it all the way up to even 1. And I mean that's when they come after it. Because the volume, well, it's just a pattern. It's just a pattern we're seeing. It's patternized. And by the way, that pattern that I was showing you here with these numbers and what they got down to, some of you might be new, some of you are not, but some of you might come over and look at this later on when I'm not even live. But look at May the 15th. From that date right there, 1 day up, 2 days up, 3 days up, 3 out of 4 up, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 6. Then we had a pullback, and it went back a little, so that's 5 out of 7, 5 out of 8, and then from there off it went at 522, 5 out of 8, we're at 6 out of 9, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 11, 9 out of 12, 10 out of 13, 11 out of 14, 12 out of 15, 13 out of 16, 14 out of 17, 15 out of 18, 16 out of 19, 17 out of 20, 18 out of 21, and that was the day. 18 out of 21 days with a higher low, people, after that number was achieved of 445 on Chiavrini Day, right? I'll make them very well known for a very long time because I owned SOFI before that attack on my stock, and that was when I went in and became a SOFI announcer, if you will, started coming up live and telling everybody how it all happened from the beginning, and I came on after this May 15th, here's my first date of my first video, and I told everybody, this is the day to be buying, this is the time to be buying. It was May the 18th, and I told them this thing had been run down, and I was starting to see a for sure increase, and I felt so confident by looking at the chart that I said, I'm going to come up today, and I'm going to convince everyone to start getting in. And some have, and some did on that day. All right, and so thank you for those who are with me now that are sharing in that success of buying on those days. And I was actually on the 15th. I bought right here, and I wasn't sure, and so I didn't want to come on and tell everybody. I didn't buy at 445. I bought at 466. I'll come right out and tell you I paid 466. That's the price I paid. And I knew that it was going to go up from that. And it sure as shit did. And I'm not the only one that paid that number. Anthony Noto, the CEO of this company, SOFI, by the way, who happened to be the previous CFO, Chief Financial Officer of a company you may have heard of called Twitter. And so there you go. He knows what he's doing. He established a very successful business. He's been around. He's not the first time on the turnip wagon, folks. He just is. He knows how to run a business and how to make it lucrative and worth money, and he's already proven that when he took over the helm here on this company. Proof of that is to look right over here, folks, and look at their beating the street with earnings and their revenues and their profits now for 9 quarters in a row. 9 quarters in a row. And look at these last few years. During COVID, I show these numbers. Right in the thick of COVID, they were almost doubling. And we know deposits are coming over like crazy based on that article by James Ford, F-O-O-R-D, of Seeking Alpha, that broke it down and showed how many checking accounts are leaving the big banks and flooding over into the digital world. And not just big banks, but even the community banks are suffering, and we are seeing growth like crazy in this field. So I point that out to you as well. And there's some sentiment apparently, and I learned this from Hurricane. Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Oh, my friend Brobus calling in. Let him get in on the show with me. Hold on. Hey there, Kevin. You're in the show right now. I'm up live, and we're talking SoFi. We're having a good day. It's up green, and I'm just showing them some statistics. What are you up to?
Just headed back to the house and just going to ask you what you thought about Duck Pen Builders.
I think it's good, man. I like it. I've thrown out my ideas, and that one still sounds sound to me. I know you were looking for something that showed a little bit of progressiveness. And this is my friend, folks. I told you yesterday about my endeavors that I might be going into a new form of bowling. It's not really new. It's been around for a long time, but a more innovative and more I would guess I'd have to just say is reliable, because these form of bowling that we're talking about, in case you've never heard of it, is called duck pin, and it's becoming popular all over the country in nightclubs and other places, and even personal people's homes for that matter. And basically they can be built to size to fit any type of room for whatever size scale you're looking for. And this guy that I'm talking to, he's the one I told you about with Award Design. So obviously a guy who has years and years, decades of experience making the highest quality CAD production run. I mean, these things are so tight you can't even fit a pubic hair between the cabinet and the wall. All right. So I just tell it like it is, folks. If you want precision and you want the best, highest quality, you get a hold of Award Design. And I'm not blowing any smoke up anything. You can go look at his Google reviews. You can look at his videos. You can go to his site. You can look it up on Google. Just put in Award Design Cabinetry. You'll see what I'm talking about. Well, this is why I'm thinking about going in with him. I make wise investments when I see good opportunities, don't I, folks? I've proven that to you here, buying SoFi in the $4 range. It's $8.27 a share as we speak. And so, yeah, we take advantage of good opportunities. So I'm going to work with my bro who I've known for years. We go back. I mean, the two of us, man, we've had dream history that you just wouldn't believe if I was to share some of our stories. And maybe one day I will. But thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being here with me, all of you that are here right now. We've had 18, and I want to thank you because I just came on, and people are clicking up here and seeing what's going on because SoFi is off and running, and I told everybody this would happen, and it's been happening. It's the 3rd day in a row, and it's going to continue to grow from that rundown of 30% that they just did over 14 days. And so anyway, we're just here. We're up broadcasting. We got some folks hanging with me, and we're all making money. Because we were buying this stock earlier for $7.89. Now it's at $8.27. Cha-ching, everybody. Whoa, yeah. Yeah.
Good job, Ty. I'm going to run. I think it's fabulous that you found this stock that's running like it is, and keep up the good work. Talk soon.
Yep, we got it. We'll be talking to you here in mid-afternoon, all right?
All right.
If I can. We'll talk to you soon.
Right.
Bye. All right. Yep. All right. Duck Pen Builders is probably going to be the name I think he's chosen to go with. And, but But he, like I said, when it comes to quality stuff, man, it's top quality and it performs. And that's been part of the downfall of the duck pen business, is that some of these that are going around putting these alleys in, they're subpar, and they start to break down. They may make promises that cannot be achieved. If you look up reviews on some of these companies, like the biggest one of all, his reviews indicate that, oh boy, stay away. And so we're going to try to change that reputation of the industry. It's something, it's a kind of an obstacle to overcome, but that's why I was thinking of maybe a name like Superior Pen or something, or King Pen. What's that, Pump?
Have you tried to print it?
Well, first of all, I hadn't even seen it yet, so we're going to go over to this. I've got to help my miss right here, so just give me a second while we take care of a little bit of business that we must, and we're going to keep this screen up and try and come over here and do it on this one, which won't show anything. So just hold a second here, and we'll get right on this. Mail, boom, 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 boom. And just give me a minute, folks. Oh, goodness gracious. There we go. All right. Won't be long here, folks. Promise you. Won't be long. Here we go. All right. Come in and be on testing. Testing 1, 2. Yes, thank you very much for letting me know that. I'm glad you were to let me know. And then I got to turn my volume down here or I'm going to get a feedback situation. So let me just do this. Hold on. Over this side. There we go. Volume off. There we go. Now I won't have that. There we go. Working. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Shanaza. I appreciate it. And I appreciate it very much. I think I have that right. I don't think it's the really long E's, Shaniza, but you wrote it that way, so maybe it still is. So I'll try that because I saw Shani. So yeah, Shaniza. So hey, thank you all for being here. Everybody who drops in, and congratulations on seeing what I had said might happen occurring. And what I said might happen was going to be the movement of this stock right back up over the term, because it has definitely been trounced down. So we're going to get back on here and back on track, and that is up every single day to higher highs and not always higher lows, because when they make the low be a lower low, then the high is the only thing left that they have to shoot for, and they're trying. But look at this volume and look at the people coming in and pushing this thing right off after they got to that low. And I want you to see this on here. See, they had 808 was the number they had to get to. They actually achieved it right here, right out of the gate. But that was it. It was gobbled up so fast. Those shares went right back up to 827. I mean, in an instant, like in a flash. I mean, these things were just gobbled up so fast. Those SOFI shares are history, folks. And it's a true indicator to me that there really isn't any gut to anybody wanting to sell for any less than where we are even here right now. And I like that. I like it a lot. So thank you. Yes, it is the long E. Yes, I got it, Shaniza. So I remembered, it came back to me, and I remember seeing that first time that you wrote it out, and I thought, okay, I see that, N-E, Shaniza. Okay, perfect. We are just seeing exactly what I predicted. I think you now see. And so congratulations. And I was doing some comparisons yesterday briefly with what happened way back on May the 1st. It's amazing some of the coincidences after May the 1st and May the 15th. Now, in particular, this day here, look at May the 15th when they ran the price all the way down to 445. And I'm hearing something behind me.
Did it work?
Yep, it's here. I put it on the table in the kitchen. Yep. So here's a similarity that I want you to compare to. This you might find interesting. Look where the price was on May 15th, the day they ran it down on David Chiaverini's $2.50 target price. All right. And the volume was high. They did it with numbers. 445. Well, that number was an exact from this 654, the morning they released earnings, to that number, 445, folks, is 31%. Okay? 31% when they got to that 445 number. All right? I just point this out because I want people to know. And here, when they ran it from the 654 to 459 before Chiaverini, that was about 31%. Right there. But by the time they got it to this number, 445, they had decreased it from this price here all the way down 31.5%. Okay? And then from there, folks, I've shown you so many times how much it went up, 55% in such a short period in only 1 month. That just doesn't usually happen, but it sure did happen. But here's the similarities. Look at this takedown move here on the May 15th, Chiaverini. The next day, how much did we improve? Well, we went from 445 to 461 from that deepest low. I come up here to the deepest low that we just saw after 14 days of running it down, 789 to 808. Well, that's a lot more, isn't it, folks? If this would have been 809, that would be 30 cents. 789 to 808. Okay? 799, it would be 19-cent improvement. Okay? So I'm just showing you that the gain here on the last time they ran it down to May 15th to May 16th, the improvement was 16 cents. This time we saw a gain off that deepest low, 789 to 808 of 19 cents, right? Okay, that makes sense to you. But here's the thing. Look at this 789 low and look where it closed up. 822. That's 33 cents this time. Go back here. What was the strength of it before on May the 15th? It hit 445, closed at 4. That's only 27 cents, folks. So I show you these are the strengths of now versus then. Back then, they were able to get it from this, and it went up to 477. Well, that's 27 cents, right, on the 15th. But I'm showing you this time that this thing regained a lot stronger this time after the 789 and went to 822. It's just a sign of strength and more confidence on the stock, right? And then what I'm going to show you is something very interesting here, too, is when you look at these days comparatively, then the next day, 789 to 808. All right, what was that? That's a low from 789 to 808, and you can see where that would be. That would be, if this was 809, that'd be 20 cents. So this is a 19-cent gain, right? I'm showing you a 19-cent gain on the low here on this time around, 19 cents. But that was after the 789, right? So 19-cent gain, and you saw the 16-cent last time. Then from 808 to 811 was a 3-cent gain the second day on the low. Okay, so let's go down here to May and see what happened on the second day after the low on the 15th. Let's go to the 17th. Well, see the gain? It was 8 cents from 461 to 469. Okay, so I'm showing you these, and I want you to notice that they just kept going up after this 522. It really didn't stop. And that's what I expect to see again is repeat of history. And we're seeing it now. Look at this thing, 831, beautiful. By the way, that's a number they like. And I already told you yesterday I thought we would close possibly at 833. And that would be because they were going to put resistance there at that number. So if you're looking for a place to maybe put in a sell order and make some money off your 789, sell a little bit here and make some money. Cha-ching. I don't have any problem with that at all. But let's see what happens when it hits 833. See what old Catfish knows or doesn't know, right? We'll see. I really like it here, though. It's just a suggestion. I don't need to sell it here because I'm kind of long and I'm trying to actually accumulate. And I already told you if it breaks over 833, I'm just going to come into it and I'm going to help move it on up. But I know that's a number that they often will try to, Okay, well, apparently what I just did didn't satisfy. Wasn't correct. Inadequate. Well, let's just watch here, folks. At 833, this is a critical number to get past. If we do, we're going to see a continued nice upward move. This is a nice 18-cent gain here today. Who's not pleased with this, right? And who called all this back when it got to that low and told you it was the same amount as the last attack, 31%.
That's not it.
That's what I got. That's all I got.
That's not it.
Well, that's what they sent me. It says right here, and it's the only email I've got recently from anybody at all, and it says right here in the email, and I'm going to show everybody in the world because it doesn't matter to me at this point. It says Christian Howington, facials and more med spa policy. And down at the bottom of it, when you click on it, and I don't care, I'm going to show it all. Here are the 2 PDF files. I printed one, and there's the other one. I printed both of them. Those are them. I don't know what else you can say. Now, maybe the second one didn't print all the pages or something, but let's download it again. So we can download it again. No problem. Doesn't matter to me. There it is. Right there, PDF. We're going to do it again. We're going to print it right now. If it doesn't print at all, there's only one page. There's just one page. There's only one page of each one. He did not send any more. Sorry, he made a mistake, maybe. But there you go. It's all done now. We figured it all out. Yippee, yappee, yo, yippee, yo, yippee, yay. No big deal. All is good, and we'll get it figured out one way or the other. Tell him he sent the wrong stuff. Uh-oh, look at 834, folks. Okay. Well, I already told you, folks, if it goes over that, I'm going to start buying it, so I am. I already told you I would, and I will. because I do what I say I'm going to do. A location name? No, thank you. I'm not going to do the weather. Here we go. All right, let's make some buys. Log in. Okay. Okay. And here we go. Where are we at? 832. Okay, starting to see a little pullback. I know they like 831, so I'm going to put in a limit there. Just going to do 2 here, 10 here, 2. Let's see what we get here. Well, we'll put it in at 831. Watch and wait. We'll see. Fills or doesn't. I think it will. They know they like that number. Folks, I want to thank you for being here with me. Yes, we have it going on here, definitely. SoFi is definitely making the move I suspected it would. And this is just, the nature of the business, folks. You've been around long enough that you start to pick up on these activities and these numbers and the way they're working it. And now, as I said before, we're starting to see it go right on up, and it's going to be a day where they got the low lower, but the high is going to be higher. And that's all they can do. At one or the other, they got to take their pick which one at this stage they want to go after. And today they decided to try to go after a lower low. They achieved that by 2 pennies. Yay, congratulations. But look at the price since then. It's at 833 from 806, folks. It's almost up freaking 30 cents already. And I told you these big swing days were going to be coming. I already told you that. The swings are going to get bigger and bigger. You didn't see 30-cent swings on this thing right after the takedown last time, folks. You didn't. I'll show you. Go back here and look. Look here after May the 15th. Now, you did once it started making its real move, but initially it started very sluggishly after May the 1st. Look at these gains here, right? You'll see 491 to 517. Well, that one right there was close, 25 cents or so. Here's one. Look at that. May 8th, May 9th. Folks, called it. Gary, good morning. Thank you for being over here. Appreciate it, appreciate it, appreciate it. Yep, definitely. There you go. Cha-ching, cha-ching. I think I called this, didn't I, Gary? Yep, called it. Bingo. Knew it was coming day after day of higher highs, higher lows. And I also said they were going to pick and choose between which one they wanted to get lower if they couldn't stop this train. That's what they did the last time, going back historically. If they couldn't capture a lower low, they would go after the high. But if the high got surpassed like yesterday too fast in the morning, then they went after the low, which they didn't get. Today they went right out of the gate after it and quick got the low, and that makes them all feel jumping around cheery and all. But now we're up 25 cents off of that already. So that's not much to be cheering about for very long. And the stock price is up 2%. And this is the kind of game we want to see every day. We don't want to see a massive pilot, unless of course, I guess the Web Bush boys or the Reddit folks finally say, yeah, this is it. Time to come on in. Let's run this thing to 20. And it could easily get there with them behind it, even $50, believe it or not. If they all piled in here, folks, it's going to be sayonara, so long, see you later, kiss your ass goodbye. Just like the old posters they used to have when they had a nuclear bomb go off. They used to have the old guy, it was kind of cool. They'd show him, says, here's what you do in the event of a nuclear explosion. Bend over, put your head between your knees, and kiss your ass goodbye. Right? Hey, everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you all for have dropped by and what I'm showing you. Hurricane Lopez came over and gave me some kudos. I think he might be coming by to take a look at my live feed. I let him know on my last posting, and I told him to let me know when he's coming up live. Maybe the two of us could start doing something as an ensemble and throwing together our ideas together. But he oh my, look at that. Did you just see that, folks? This thing is starting to make a very, very impressive move. Hitting on that right there. And let's get in on the chart. let's come on over to the chart right now. Forget about the historical and the past. We all know where the past is. We know where the future's going, and it's exactly like I called it. It looks like it's happening in the way I said it would. And folks, I'm wanting to look at this 1 day chart right here. Get in close and look at the 1 day, 1 minute increments I'm using. And folks, wow, was this not something foreseeable? What's the news? What's the news? Look at the market. NASDAQ up 175. The Russell's scaling right off like a rocket. Everything ascending. Very nice. It's a very big wave for them to have to short against, isn't it, folks? The wave and the momentum is here. I love the feeling of it, the look of it. The chart looks absolutely fantastic. Let's get to the 5-day chart, right? Let's look at the 5-day chart. Oh, yeah, triple upside crossover going to the month. Look at here, folks. This is one that's really going to be the big diff. This is going to be the big diff. Watch this blue line here start to proceed up over this gold one again, and then mouth open, swallowing anything in its path. Look at the mouth, it's getting bigger here. Look at the 10-day drop angle dropping. Gary, tomorrow SOFI is going to be much higher or much lower. This will depend on the NVIDIA does after hours. Yep. Well, we're going to see. And right now, somebody might already know a little bit of something. And it looks to me like I like the way this looks. I like the way it feels. I like the tempo of it at this time of day. This has normally been attack time. Right here, they begin. This has been the pattern. So watch for pump and dump as well. Why my advice is if you bought at $7.89 and you're up 50 cents on that buy, that's a nice profit, folks. You ought to take a little off the table. I'm not saying that sell at your core by any means, because I would never do that, but I might think about taking some off the table. But like I said, once it broke over 833, I thought I'm going to go in, and I did. I put my order in too low. It hasn't filled, but it's okay. I still hang it there at 831, and I wait and see if they try to get that. I told you this is a number they like, 833, and this is a number they like. They like to run it down from that figure to 813. So I just am pointing it out. I don't have to be, say anything more. It's not going to sell down by a few of you putting out 50 shares or 100. That's not what makes this thing move. We see them dump 5 million at a time to make it move, haven't we? Yep, 5 million at a time. Going back over here, though, now to the 1 day, what I want to see is the volume really behind this push. And look right there to try to stifle $3 million worth. And what was the effect of that? Took it from 835 down to 831. See, there's a 4-cent drop on 3 million. Yesterday, they dumped 5 million and only fell 2 cents. I pointed that out to you, and they must have been like at their wits' end thinking, what? 5 million usually drops this thing at least 5 cents. And there they pulled off 4 cents with it. And they didn't use 5 million, they used less, but they had more pop in this with their 3 million. They made it fall. And now, then yesterday with 5 million, they couldn't make it fall but 2 cents. I showed that to people. I showed it right there. You can see it on the chart. And that's not good for them. To dump that many shares and see it continue to ascend is just horrible. And so, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but I sure see what happened to that 833. And watching this here close, because this is a number that I see as a possibility as a breakaway as well. Not only a place of retention, but a place of a breakaway. There it goes, 835, 836. Cha-ching. Now I don't care. Changing my order from here, from this to a market order. Edit. And I'm going to place it right now. Filled at 834. Nice. Filled at 834. That's very good. I like getting that number above the 833 because I know that's the number they want. And if we get it ascending off of that, it's going to be the next 866, basically. Maybe 849 will be some sort of retention. But we'll look at the charts here, and we can see where they want to try to hold this. Obviously, they didn't want to see this thing break an 847, but I really don't see how they're going to be able to muster doing that with this volume that just keeps steadily flowing in and the price going up penny by penny by penny. And this is the worst kind of watch for them, to sit and watch it just going up and up and up. And then they're praying, oh my God, please, let's just see this 11:15 takedown like we've been seeing. Let's see this 11:15 takedown. And Gary, if you feel that way and you're that committed to SoFi, if you're over committed, maybe a good time, Gary, to take it all off right here and leave only 50% on the table, take half of it away, and wait and see what they do. You absolutely cannot lose money by doing that right there. All right, you can't lose money here on SoFi if you bought at $7.89 or even in the sixes with me at $6.66 or $40. You can't lose money by selling here up as much as you are, okay? Because that's how you make money, right? Now, if the report comes out from NVIDIA tomorrow and it's horrible and they collapse the rest of the market, everything scales down with it, you got that money sitting there and ready to pop in on the overzealous selling, on the over-panic selling. This is what Warren Buffett's done for many years. I think there's been many times. I've learned almost, don't hold through earnings or don't hold through reports. Don't hold through that. Have that cash sitting there, because if it goes up from there, you can always buy and help propel it right on up. And you still got shares that you're helping gain value to. Don't worry about that. Even if you bought it for more than you sold it for because the news was good and it went on up, you didn't lose money that way. There's no way to lose money that way. If it's going up and you come on in and it's going up, you're just going to make more money on those shares. It doesn't matter. But if it drops and there's a 50-50 chance that it will, then it only makes logical sense to go ahead and take off some. Right? All right. I hope I'm making sense to you. But and it looks as though some people might begin that even here and now and have it here as we approach 11. I've already said we've seen the pattern lately. It's 11:15, 11:15. They start working it down, and right through the lunch half hour, and then off it goes as it starts to head on back up. Sometimes even a little after 1. But boy, have we seen some money, some movement here that I have already predicted would be happening. All right, and I told you it wasn't going to be every single day up. We're going to see the same thing as the last time. There were certain times, even if you go back to the May 15th where it started the real run, there were a couple days where it closed at 507 here, and the next day, 493. Okay, do you see that? And I point that out because how much is that drop right there from 5? It's 14 cents. Okay, 14-cent drop. Well, look at this right here, folks. If you look at yesterday, the close, 8:15. Look at the day before close, 8:29. How much of a drop is that? 8:15 to 8:25 is 10 cents, and to 8:29, that's 14 cents again. Do you see the relevance of that number? Is that coincidental? I point these things out because I think that they're important to note. And so what did we see yesterday? We didn't see it just keep going up. We saw a 14-cent pullback. What do you know? 27. Look at this right here. To 13. How much is this of a gain? Look at the number of the gain. Right? 8:15, 8:25, 12 cent. 14 cent. Isn't that interesting? Right here, 8:29, 14 cent down, boom, 14 cent up. Right? Just making sure you're keeping track of these things, the little things that are interesting, coincidental, identical numbers. So, because I like to point out that I've always said history does tend to repeat itself, and we're certainly starting to see some interesting numbers that are in identical gains and losses, and in some cases we're seeing even stronger gains. And I pointed that out to you by what I just showed you a little bit ago. And I want to check something out here. Let me go over to YouTube for a second, and I want to make sure that my buddy Hurricane Lopez is not up live right now. So let me just jump on here. And there's a couple of other stocks we want to keep an eye on today. We've had our eye on, and we're going to be looking at today as well. And that one of them is going to be RBX. RBT. I mean, RBT. See what's going on. Yep. Told you yesterday that it was trounced down. It might be a good spot. They were really beat up on their news that they were going to be scaling back a little, making some changes. But they said it was in line with their financial alignment. They're realigning. All right, here we go, folks. Looking good here, holding up 831. Not sure I'm going to see. 831 would be one I have sitting there that I hope I just filled that. It should have just filled. And I expected it maybe even go a little bit lower, but not much. Because I know they like that reverse 13 thing I show you. When they can't get the 13, 31's the next best thing. Right? And cha-ching, cha-ching, everybody. All of you cats that are here with me making money. And Gary, yep. Thank you. I want to appreciate you being here. We're definitely having a good time. We're going to get over here and look at this and stream settings. It looks good. Stream health. I just want to check here. Excellent. Yeah, pretty weird how yesterday at freaking 10 minutes till the close, I got basically closed out. Don't know what happened. Speaking of closing, they closed me down. My screen just said, stream horrible, healthy, poor. And I'm like, what happened all of a sudden? What, right into the close? But whatever. You can see where we are today, and I sort of have called this, I think. It's not hard to tell what's being done if you just sit back with a big picture and you look at it, and then after you look at the big picture, which would be this 6-month chart here, you see that this has been a down spot that's been resistance before. So when we got here this time, and I want to show you something else, folks. Let's go to the 1-year chart, or even bigger. Let's go to the 5-year. All right, right here, where we got to, you can see that right there. And I can't even do it on this chart. I'd rather just go in here to this one. This is better to do it on. Oh, man, look at that bounce. I told you this blue line was going to come off of that gold when the mouth was going to start forming, didn't I? Look at that. This is on the 1 day. Let's go to the 1 day. A 1 day, 1 minute interval. Oh, my goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. I'm not the only one that can see this either. I'm definitely not the only one looking at this. There's a lot of other interested parties that are paying close attention to what's happening here on this chart. And I certainly do like it a lot, a whole lot. And this is very good for us. As I suspected, we're actually seeing a higher gain than I thought we might. But let's do this. We're up 20 cents now on the 3rd day after the takedown day. Okay? Here's 1, 2, 3. All right? There we are, up 20 cents. Let's go back to May 15th. May 15th. Here we are. What did we do on the 3rd day? Right? These are the highs or the gains, right? So this day, we were up 3 on the next day. Then we were up, I'm showing right here, the close was 477. 479, there's 2. That's a 5-cent gain the next day before they took it down, right? Then 476 opened at the same amount. 498, that's a 22-cent gain. And the 3rd day, what happened? Closed at 496, opened 2 cents up, and then went to 514. So, folks, 14, that's a 20-cent gain. Look at that. All right, this is making sense, right? 496 close. 2 cent higher at 498, went to 514. So that's 14 cents higher, 15, 16, 17, 18 cent. This is an 18-cent gain. All right? That right there was an 18-cent gain. And look at the similarities. I like to show you this. I think it's just interesting. I think that these things are very, very interesting how they play out. You could call it coincidence or what have you, but I don't think it is. I think it's interesting to see these things, how they unfold, and I think I'm right on. Let me go over here. I'm going to run these things next to each other so I can see them next to each other, right next to each other. I'm going to break these similarities down where I don't have to keep toggling up and down the page, right? So now we got this one right here. And we got May 15th, Chivrini Day. The high was 484. The next day, the high 482. Okay? 2 cents down. Now we're going to compare that. Here's 789 was the low. Let me take a look at this compared side by side. After the 15th. Hey, everybody, Gary, I agree. Yeah, it is interesting. Yep. So 47, and I'm breaking it down for you here, folks, to see exactly the comparisons. So after the low that they got on 445, this is the first thing I compare to, is that it went up 22 cents, right? But to compare that to this one here, what it did on May the 15th, right? I'm sorry, on the low day, 789. I did this for a reason. 789, folks, from the day that it hit this low, it went up and closed at 822. All right? So just to make sure people aren't thinking I'm fibbing about these numbers, 8.22 minus 7.89 equals, that's 33 cents. So it gained off the day it hit the low this time, 33 cents, where the last time it gained after hitting the low of 22 cents. 4.77 minus 4.45 equals 32 cents. I'm sorry. Yeah, we got to make these things right. So isn't that interesting? Right? 445 to 477, 32 cent gain off the low then. And then does history sometimes repeat itself? My God, it's crazy. It's crazy how it happens. And here it is here, 789, 822. 32 cent last time, 8.22 minus 7.89 equals 33 cents. Isn't that interesting? Well, let's do another comparison. 808 here, the low the next day. 808 minus 789. 8.08 minus 7.89 equals, that's a 19 cent, right? 19 cents on the day after to the next increase up, 19 cents on the low. So let's go over here. Here's the day after right here. And then on the low, what did it improve? The next one, 8 cents, folks. Right? 8 cents. So we're over double the improvement of that right now. I'm just showing you some small things, but just look at the growth now. It's already, that proves right there that already we're starting to recover at a faster pace. And it means more, by the way, everybody, when you see these numbers are higher from 789 to 808, folks. This is more valuable. This has more weight to it because the price is higher. Do you understand? The price is much higher, like freaking 35% higher than it was back then. So this is more of a substantial move to make this higher move up, okay? And then the next day after, we saw, let's go back here. Oh, I don't need to do it that way. I'm going to jump on this one. So that was the day of, then the next day. Then we saw an improvement, folks, on this next day, not the second day after the takedown, but the third day, we saw a nice improvement, 70 to 92, but 23 cents. 23 cent gain on the low on that next one. But this time they turned around. They came after us on this third day after. They wanted the low lower, right? That's what they wanted. And they had that achieved, and good for them. But now look where the dang price is. Holy crap. 836, freaking, are you kidding me? 30 cents higher off the low already, now 31. All right, folks. Just making sure we're all on the same page. Let's look here at some other interesting things. Then when it started making its way up off this low here, they got to on the 19th. Folks, it started accelerating real quickly on them then. And this is what I think is going to happen now, right? And that's why I called it out. I brought it to your attention. And it looks like so far I was pretty much spot on. and we're going to see if we get a higher high today. I think we will. I think they've got that lower. And so what if they get the high? Look, we're up. We're up for 2.7% today. Who gives a shit? That's not going to be this isn't working their direction right now. Trust me. And it's going to get better and better for us longs, because more and more of them are going to get cut ties with this thing. And it could start happening at a very rapid pace. And you can see right now, this is a very unusual time for this stock to be making an ascent. I'm just saying it. Usually this is the beginning of the downtrend. So be aware of it. Watch what's going on. Watch the volume. Watch the size of the buys. And that's going on here. What's going on here? FTC cracks down on student loan debt relief scams. Good. Warn borrowers. Yeah. There's a lot of scammers out there. SOFI's not one of them, I can guarantee you. 2 hours ago, SOFI Technologies Incorporated is attracting investor attention. Here is what you should know. Citigroup is in. Pfizer. Yep. Oh, man. Look at these people, man. They're all going to be behind us now during this run after the big 30% takedown. Now that everything's undervalued and they're all saying it's worth more. Everybody. All the analysts are upgrading to higher numbers, up to 11. You can see that even Yahoo's raised theirs to 1028, right? 1028. Yahoo was at $8.11, raised to 1028. Some have raised from 10 to 12. Some have raised from 12 to 16. Truist is one of them. Truist has raised their target by a lot to $16, folks. And as I said, James Ford has his belief of 20. Now we got our friend Hurricane. Let's just see if he happens to be up. And no, he's not up live right now. I'm checking because I want to catch him when he is. I want to thank you folks that are here with me and checking this out. I appreciate it. And I'm just really basically watching this thing continue to scale up and run up. 839 now. Folks, watch this thing blow past yesterday's high pretty soon. You can watch it right in front of your eyes, because my sentiment and feeling is that this is just disgusting them to see this, and very, very disheartening. And we're going to jump over here and we're going to get back on the SOFI Technologies chart, because what we want to see is who's coming in and making these moves, even though some red streaks are coming in here trying to stifle. It's in spite of those red candlesticks, people are buying this up. They're buying it up. It could have something to do with all the institutions coming in. Let's go look and see if they've added some more positions. Let's go see it. Right now, we're going to go over here to bookmark page. Bookmarks, here we are. And here we go. SOFI institutions. Bam. We're keeping track of it, folks. We're definitely keeping track of it. Thank you, all of you who are here. I appreciate your presence while I show you these things that I show you that I think are of interest. And here we go. SOFI looking sweet. And oh my goodness, we've had another increase. Look at that, right? 690 now. I'm pretty sure, folks, that is an increase of institutions based on, let's just go over here and look. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. More and more and more coming aboard. Yep, 684 has now changed, folks, to 690. All right, cha-ching. And didn't I call that too? I told you while they were running it down, it looked more like accumulation to me. And there we go now, 690. Goodness gracious. Going to keep track of that for sure. Yep, well, it doesn't surprise me. Yep, 690 total, 638 long, 20 short. Nice. Well, folks, hey, you know, this isn't be any surprise, and it should be no surprise why the price is going up, right? And so, so Gary Shiniza says, so if NVIDIA goes higher, SOFI will also. Yeah, it'll probably carry the market. Yeah, it's one of the heavyweights. It's a heavyweight. AMD, you know, they got some others in there. By the way, as Hurricane Lopez noted, it was interesting that there was an article put out by a group the other day that matched us up with all these big names. They had SOFI in the list of the top 5 stocks to get involved in now, and they were right in there with Tesla and AMD and and Hurricane was the one that pointed that out. I don't know what article it was in, but man, and he thought that was encouraging. I do too. So something very interesting to check out. And so I had gone over and I checked out Hurricane Lopez's video 2 days back. I saw it and it was great. And I'm glad that I did check it out, because as always, he's cutthroat, man. He's just right to the rough. He just tells it like it is. He slings it out there. He tells you exactly what he sees. He tells you disregard all the FUD. And so anyway, looking good here. We're looking very good. And I'm thinking a little bit contrary. I'm not as aggressive as Gary is on the thoughts about what's going to happen with NVIDIA affecting SoFi. They're of course, NVIDIA is a big player and can influence the entire market. But man, we're seeing a turnaround. I pointed out this NASDAQ, how far it had dropped compared to September of 2022. It was identical, 1,060 then and 1,060 now. And now it turned off that same number and it's turning north. And you can see this by looking at the 1 month chart. This right here, I did the math for you. I compared this chart to the 1 year chart and showed everybody this drop to this lower price right here is identical, folks. Or actually, it would have been the last drop, this one. This drop right here to this one right here is an identical amount of money as this drop here to this one. And from this drop here to that pop is a 20% gain. All right? So that's why I see this a little bit differently than some others do, even including Gary, because I think that this market it looks very stern and resilient and looks good for continued move, just like we saw here before on this drop. This drop right here to this drop right here, do the math if you want. It's 11,461 all the way down to 10,466. It's a 1,000-point drop. And here you can see from 14,316 down to 13,290. Again, it's very close. You're talking almost identical, 1,026 drop. And then there it came off. And just like this last here, it's the same thing. It's making the same vertical move now, right here. All right. We could see a nice pop here we went from 11,138 up to here, 12,290 from off of this here at the 13,290 to 14,1. 14,1 would be where we were going to look for a little pullback, or flattening out before the run. See that? All right, I hope that makes sense to you folks, what I'm showing you right there. I think that's valuable information to keep tuned in on the whole market. So anyway, I feel very good about where this looks right here, the projection we're seeing, and I think a lot of other people like the look of that too. It looks encouraging, and so we'll see what NVIDIA does to the whole market tomorrow, but I'm not that overly concerned about them. I've seen some other big players do some pretty bad reports lately, and SoFi's just been resilient through all that, continuing to go right on up, including through all of the interest rate hikes and everything else. All SoFi ever did was go up and up and up and up through all of that, folks. And this is why, because they're so diversified, and now they don't just hinge and have all their money or eggs in the student loan basket anymore. They've definitely expanded. This is an absolute fact and undeniable. This is a majorly positive, cash generating, money is flowing. Earnings per share hasn't been good and popped yet, but folks, we're going to see that change when they go into profitability in Q4. So there'll be people they're long-term investors. All these institutions, they see that and know that too. They can wait a couple of months. They can wait 6 months. Many of them, they hold positions for years, and they've been holding these SoFi positions for years too. There's actually some of them that own SoFi for $15, believe it or not, and they haven't sold it. No, institutions, they're long-term, and they just hold and wait, and they buy in on the lows. I showed you how many came in on this chart here. I showed you how many came in the whole time while the lows were here. Was the highest accumulation here. Look at the price. This is the price per share, folks. It's at $25 right here. Look how they came in the heavy while it was going down. Right here, all that, folks. And by the way, I thought they might be buying it to try to crush it because a lot of these were banks, big banks. Showed it to you, folks. And it's interesting, too, that they even had involvement, Morgan Stanley, with the initial funding of this SoFi little fledgling bank. I looked it up on Wikipedia. Wikipedia saw it that Morgan Stanley was one of the backers of SoFi originally. If you don't know that, go look at Wikipedia and type in here. Let's do it right now for everybody, just for fun. We'll put in SoFi. Wikipedia. Look here. What I'm going to show you folk. And if you don't know about this little trick about searching a page for something in particular on this thing, you can come down and push Control F, and a little box opens down here in the bottom left corner of your screen, and then you can put in Stanley. Oh, and I'm going to take off the caps. It doesn't matter really. Stanley, there you go, right here. On October 2nd, 2013, folks, SoFi announced that it had raised $500 million in debt and equity to fund and refinance student loans. This total funding amount came from $90 million in equity, $151 million in debt, and $200 million in bank participations, with the remaining capital from alumni and community investors. The $151 million in debt includes a $60 million line of credit from Morgan Stanley and a $41 million line of credit from Bancorp. Morgan Stanley, company that downgraded our company right here on July the 13th. Look over here. You'll see it. Come on down. Morgan Stanley, July 13th. Again, we'll go down here, Control F, put in Stanley. It's not showing it because I'm not on the page. I'm not down to where it was or is on the page. But we'll try and jump into it here. We'll keep going down and try it again. Keep going down. Doop. Boop. Anyway, they did. It was July, 23 days ago. So we're not far enough back yet. We got to get into July 13th, 29 days ago. Anyway, it's here. Morgan Stanley said it. They downgraded it, and it was July the 13th. And we'll try it one more time. Boom. Ah, look at that. There it is. SoFi stock drops after Morgan Stanley downgrade. How do you like that, all you 17 folks tuned in with me right now and the others that have been here? There it is, and the ones that may come on board. Isn't that cool? The company here backing us from the ground, the fledgling bank that gave us $60 million line of credit, downgrading us. Are they hoping that we'll get foreclosed on us? Right? I don't know. Sure doesn't seem to make very much sense, but I bring it to your attention. I sniff out all this stuff. I show you the deception. I show you the way they work. I show you how it all is manipulated, and I bring it right out. I bring it so everybody can see it. And yeah, I hang out the laundry. Don't I? Yes, sir. Catfish is here to hang out the laundry. I want to thank all of you who are here with me right now and enjoying what I'm showing you. The oddity of the number and amounts of increases we're seeing and gains versus what we saw the last time on the May 15th Chia Pansy Day. And yeah, I got a new name for him, Chia Pansy. And I hope you like that. It's Manus FPV. Thank you for being here. Yep, I showed everybody, man. I've shown everybody what's going on and how it's so repetitive. And this is interesting because I'm showing people how close history will often repeat itself. And it's not coincidence, folks. It's all by design. It's all by design. And today we're going to be looking for the lunchtime low. And the lunchtime low has been recently on 8/17. The lunchtime low was 818. The next day, 818, it was 818. What a quinky dink. The next day, 821, Monday, it was 808 was the low, right, on Monday. And they got to 806 today. Yay! They feel like they accomplished something, but daggum, the thing went off 30 cents over that afterwards. And then on 822, the low was only 811 right here. There it is. I'm showing it to you. There's the days, the amounts, the downs. And Gary, it's something to be aware of. Yep. Gary says NVIDIA is a market leader. It has led the AI theme, which has helped the market go up. It can also push the market down. The after hours earnings call should direct the market up or down. So there you go. NVIDIA is going to have an after hours market report on their earnings call, and they're going to let everybody know how they've been doing, and we'll be able to tell. As a matter of fact, I think it'll be kind of interesting to see, are we seeing people piling in on it or not? I don't think I've had that one in here before. So we're going to go to, we'll just go on this one and put NVIDIA in the search box. Right? Let's do it. Let us do it now and see where it is. NVIDIA. There we go. Uh-oh. What did I do wrong? Let's see. NVIDIA. Aha. I see what I'm doing wrong. There we go. NVIDIA. Boom. NVDA. And where are we at today? Prior. Oh, goodness gracious. By the way, congratulations to anyone that owns any of this. Over the last year, you can see what it's done. And folks, don't be surprised to see them go right on up here. Let's go down here and look at their history of what they've been doing. Over here on the right. Boom, boom. There you go. Look at that, folks. Look at that. And this continued to grow, even though they didn't really grow over the quarter to next quarter. And I mean, it's still awesome revenue, but still. And look at this, all the buyers, 15 strong buy, and now that's dropped to 7 strong buy, 20 buy, 14. A lot of analysts have pulled away from this recently. I'm not sure why. It looks like it stopped covering, but for whatever reason. But anyway, yeah, it's making a nice little zingy move here, and look, as he claims, as you can see here, Shania, this is what he claims. 212 is a percent up, and where are we? 2.52. See, so they're running coincidentally, and that he points that out. It's a good point, good valid point, and we're going to see how much of an effect it has on the market after hours. So there you go. It's very, very interesting to keep an eye on it. And we definitely will be keeping an eye on that one as well. And we're going to keep an eye on this one. I told you yesterday, get in on this one at 61 cents. 8% gain so far. I knew it was being overworked when on that news that they had. I said so. So hopefully you did. Look at that, folks. Cha-ching if you went in at 61 yesterday. Because I told you it was oversold. And it was. Just like SOFI has been. Oversold. Oversold big time, folks. And you can see what's happening right here and now. It looks absolutely awesome. Let's get over here. I want to check to, again, compare some of these things. These numbers of old to numbers of new. And where we want to look for most of all, too, here is keep track of this volume. Because I've been keeping track of the lunchtime lows. And you think we're going to be anywhere near the lunchtime low of 2 days ago at 8:08 today? Or maybe 8:11 of yesterday's lunchtime low? You think we'll get there? Anybody at all want to wager that we won't? I can almost 100%, and I would eat any shorts. But mine, as I said, they won't be consumed because there's no way in the world that they're going to get to that number. It's not going to happen today. This is just way too strong, way too good, way too following the market is just making a really nice move here. Up now the NASDAQ 206. And I had told everybody, even last week, all that looked like just accumulation to me, like a major big shakeout. There weren't even any real reasons for the prices. They were even showing increases in the economy, and the thing was just seemed to be getting accumulated down and worked down on make whatever Yahoo could come up with for the day for a reason down. But I said that looked like accumulation, and we saw that bottom reached on the NASDAQ, as I showed you. I'm going to move this in video over here and keep it there. I also want to see what's going on with some others that I have a little interest in. That's CCL, Carnival Cruise Line. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see it green today. And look at that. Nice. Very cool. All right. Good move. I'm happy. Those of you that might have seen what I looked at 2 days ago, I told you it was down, being worked down a little, maybe a good time to get in. So it was. Just like it was on SoFi 3 days ago, perfect time to be buying in. And even this morning at 30 cents below, 31 cents below where we are now. And as it continues to rise here at 11:30, I want to bring to your attention, this has been takedown time every day from 11:15. And I can show you by the charts, right? I can show you by the charts. We're going to go to the summary page right here. And you're going to see, if we go to this 5-day charts, what's been happening every single day. Look at here. What time was this? 11 o'clock. Look at that takedown, right? That was on Monday. Look here. Come on across. 11 o'clock. Look at the takedown. You saw it. Then come over here. What time is it here? They tried it right here. 11:30, right? It started at 11 to 11:30. Takedown. Folks, you can see it every day. Every day. Look at this. 11:15. Takedown. What do we got going on here now, folks? Cha-ching. Just a steady rise. What a surprise. My goodness gracious. How amusing. How interesting. How entertaining. It's been very entertaining. Watch what they've been doing with the stock. But as I said, from 3 days ago, 55% up is going to put us up to $12.50 range to $13. That's where I'm calling for, just along with many of the other analysts that are calling for higher even, 12, 16, 20. There are many analysts that have started upgrading lately. Let's go over here. By the way, wasn't that cool? I showed you there that Morgan Stanley was part of the beginning, funding this company in the very beginning days when they were just a fledgling back in 2013, right? In their first 2 years of business, they stepped up and helped them out to create their student loan department, basically. Okay, so there you go. You just saw that. Congratulations for being taught something you might not have known. And hopefully that'll be helpful for you to know. As well as look at all of the price descending from the 21st December 2021, all while the money was coming in to SoFi. They were getting hammered down in stock price while these big institutions just piled in here, accumulating shares. And I thought they might have been even accumulating them simply to sell them, just to keep selling them to each other, down to down, 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 down. And now turned around, and now we're headed north, right? All headed north. And hey, there we go. It's true, Gary. It is something to be aware of. It is definitely something to be aware of. I appreciate you putting that in there. Everybody who makes comments here, we all learn from everybody's experience and knowledge. And the more minds you put together, the more powerful you become as an entity. It's almost like a pack of a school of ants, right? It's a whole network of ants, all with their worker positions, taking care of the whole colony. We all thrive as one. All the individuals make one massive colony. The SoFi colony. How do you like that? Doesn't that have a nice ring to it? Yes, a colony of Sofians. Sofants. Whatever, I'm just having some fun, folks. You don't have to hang around here and listen to me jibber jabber, but not always jibber jabbering. So I'll show you these numbers and why they add up and why they make sense. And folks, we're going to see this thing busting over to a new high. They already got the low, and they went after that right out of the gate because yesterday, they didn't have a chance at sustaining the high. That thing shot up so fast yesterday, they couldn't hold it at 8. It ran up too high. They couldn't hold the high down below the previous 2 days. It was the third day. This is the third day. We're going to see another high. Yeah, it's coming. I say it's coming, and I'm going to call it out that we're going to see a higher high because people aren't letting up here even at this number. They're still coming in on it. You can see the volume. And if I go over here to this technical chart, it just looks absolutely, undeniably beautiful. That's all you can say about it right now. And I want to thank you all for being here and checking out my angle, what I show people. And one of the things I'm going to show you now is on this one day, you might find interesting, and that is that we're going to, and Shaniza says, SoFi has to break 8:45 for it to take off. Oh, yeah. I like that. All right, good. Call it. Yeah. Call it what it is. If you've looked at the charts and figured that out, then good, because I look for those numbers too, and I see us basically definitely going to be doing that here today. And I see it because of the volume, and I'm looking at the chart. I'm looking at the 1 day. I'm looking at 1 minute intervals, and I'm going to pull in here very, very close, and I want to look at this volume that's propelling us upwards. Look at all the green candlesticks here, folks, and look at the 10-day moving average. Look at how they bounced the blue 45-day off and never broke below the 50-day. And then it started its escalation. And look at the mouth of it now getting bigger. Every passage of every minute. Watch this blue line here increasing its width away. And you can see it from here to here. It may not be visible minute by minute, but when you stretch it out and you look at it here, it becomes more obvious, okay? And also, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pull this back. Whoa, what happened? It went right off the screen, right off the chart. There we go. We want to be in here on this thing where we can see it on the full screen, right? We want a full screen of it. Why can't I get that? Huh. Yeah, there's usually a way to pull that up. It doesn't matter even if I don't get it on the full screen. I'm going to show you anyway, folks. I can show you these things with it just like it is here. And that is this. All right? Look at the angles of their attack down previously to the angles of their attacks down now. Each day they're making very quick and abrupt, sharp attacks down, but we have only seen recently, it appears, and I'm going to get more into the 5-day. Maybe we can see it more easily on the 5-day chart. There we go. You can see this. And this is what I'm trying to point out, and I bring this to people's attention before, is that when you look at this angle of after the last bash down and then the double whammy came here, look at this angle right here. Draw tool didn't, there it is. Look at this angle right here of its ascent, okay? You see that? That shows the growth the last time after the takedown, okay? And let me get over here so you can see down at the bottom, all right? That was the growth of the takedown this morning from this on 8/21. You can see after it hit that bottom, and look at the similarities of here to here, folks. But look at this. From this bottom up to this double bottom to make it higher, which is so equal to this right here they took 2 runs at yesterday. All right, it's the same there. But from there, look at the angle of the ascent up right there. I want you to pay attention to now after this double bottom and then finally the triple. Look at the angle of ascent here, folks. That's what I'm pointing out to you now, that the increase now is more rapid than it has been previously. That's what I'm trying to point out to you folks. So I want to thank you for being here to witness and see this, because this is quite important in my opinion, and why I've been showing you these historical numbers and how they're changing to the upside faster now than they were before. These gains, including from the day it hit this here to this, the last time was 22 cents. This time it was more, right? I showed you this, or 31 cents, and this time 32. And then these gains up have been higher amounts up, right? So I show you these things because this is what I want you to be aware of, is that we're seeing a sharper angle now of increase than we did even way back here, all right, back on the 21st, okay? So it's very important to keep aware of it, because this is a much stronger move, okay? This is a stronger move here than the last time. It has more volume and it has more weight behind it. This is carrying more weight, all right? And I'm telling you, you can see the big red candlesticks today trying to stifle it there. There's one that was 641,000 shares, folks, and that sure didn't stifle it any. Look at this next one here. How many was that? 729,000 shares. pulled it back a fraction, boom, off it goes off of that. Even that, man, folks, this is what I'm showing you. You got to be paying attention. Here's the volume they used on 822 to the close to take it down. And now look at them stabbing at it with these massive 641 million shares, folks. That's $5.5 million. And then here we go again, 729. Let's figure that out. 729,000 times, what was the price when they did that? Times 836. 729 times 836. 8.36 equals $6 million plus. $6,094,094. To see the price just go right off of that and continue to climb now has to be absolutely blowing their minds. And see, I'm exposing it. I'm showing you how they're making an effort right there on that one-day chart, how they're making an effort right now to stifle this, and they're throwing away a lot of money, folks, to see this thing just keep on climbing. And by the way, when I look at this here, this says 8:23, and it shows the time. So even though you can see this says up here 5-day chart, this is a 1-day chart. All right, and then they actually are showing 1-day chart, and it actually shows 2 days here. So I'm showing you what the climb was yesterday on the 21st, or the day before, all the way through the 21st, that climb, and how much was coming behind it, and how much money and how much volume until the takedown then the next day. But then look at this, look at the ascent here, look at the angle. This is most important for you to see this, folks. It proves what I'm saying, that this is a faster recovery than even the last 30% takedown. It's making a quicker gain now than it was before. And it could be because some people are paying attention to what I'm saying about this, and they're going, damn, and he's right. He's absolutely right. They did do it the exact same 30% takedown, but they did do it over 14 days instead of 4. And now, look, it is going up day after day slowly, just like the repeat of the last time. What do you know? What a coinkydink, huh? And folks, this is far from over. We're at 1140 now, going to hit 840. 840 at 1140. That's a good number. I like that. And congratulations if you bought with me this morning already, right? You all saw me. I put my orders in. They filled. I got it. 831. Yay. I'm very happy to have achieved that. And folks, do you think, like I said, we're going to be putting the lunchtime low today. I've already told you the lunchtime low for the last 4 days. 4 days ago, 818. 3 days ago, 818 again. 2 days ago, 808. Yesterday, 811. And today we're at 830, 839 now during lunchtime, low time. This is when they've been able to get to the lowest low right before lunch every day, is this time that we're in right now. This is it. This is usually their time to shine, and now instead they're getting a shining. Yep, they're getting the razor out. Yep, because see, when it's hard and it's dry, you don't want hair there too. It can catch on fire. See? All right, people. Hey, thanks for being here with me, and I hope that you got some laughter out of that one. Because, folks, this is how it's going to be. It's going to be this way. It's going to be slow, long, girthy, and it's just going to keep getting deeper and deeper into debt to these companies they've shorted, and they're holding their shorted shares on. And I hope that you appreciate what I'm saying. I hope you're catching on to what I'm getting at. And my point is exactly that this is just exactly almost what I called for. And I'm not trying to be prideful or boastful. I thank the good Lord is what I do. I thank the good Lord above for me and you and others having the insight to know that it was time to get in after that May 15th Chia Pansy Day. Okay? And so I want to thank you. Yeah, I've used Chia Pet too. That's the Mr. Lopez's and Danny Deals. I've used his wordage, but I'm calling him something else. I'm going to call him Chia Pansy. And because not only is he a pansy, but he's a chimpanzee, a monkey. He's a monkey's uncle, and he's also a horrible, successful analyst. Wealthy somehow or another, being the bottom of his class. Yeah, He is a catfish, all right, but he's a catfish of another color, folks. I'm here to tell you. Yep, yep. He's not a king catfish. Not at all. No, he's a pauper. He's down there. Yep, he's down there. What do they call the guy that comes out and does the little follies? The Jolly Folly guy with the little joy hat. You know what I'm talking about, people. That's what he is. He comes out and entertains us, the royalty, the royal Sofians. And David Chia Pansy comes out and, hey, there's the 840. All right, we're getting close there. We're getting close. Shaniza, we're getting very close. Oh, yeah, right on up. We're going to bust that number you said, and then it's going to go up to the new high again today. Oh, yeah, whatever. I called it, and you called it, and we've all seen it. We knew it was coming. We should have known anyway, based on the charts of the past. 841. Oh, yeah. The riches are only beginning to flow into our coffers, folks. You will see. All will come to pass just as it should. Look now. Look at the NASDAQ continuing to climb. The Russell continuing to climb. Look at us outperforming the Russell, which we should because we're in the Russell Elite Top 1,000, the Russell 1,000. And I want to thank all of you who have dropped by to see what I'm showing, folks, and why I say that history is going to repeat itself, and it has been doing that. So congratulations on your gains today. It's a very, very nice day to be making money in the market. And I'm going to have to, I think, fairly soon, maybe end this because I want to try to do a simulcast of this video that I'm doing live on my TikTok as well. So I think, but to do that, I need to have two screens up and running at the same time. And I can't do this and do that at the same time. But it sure is nice to see what I said was going to come to fruition happening, and that is steady, solid, slow gains. And this stock will most likely be up 55% in less time than you can even think, than you could even realize. And look at it now ascending at the time it normally is dropping like a rock. Normally dropping like a rock. So let me see here, folks. I'm going to try something new today. I want to thank you all for being with me. If you want, you can try to come over to my TikTok channel, which is right here. And I'm also known as Catfish on TikTok. So, but you'll have to look my name up on there, which is Tyler Self 8. That's how I spell my name. And come on over. I've got 10,400 followers. And I want you to be aware that when you come over here, this is where you'll see me broadcasting what I've been doing for you here now for the last couple of hours. I'm going to switch over to TikTok now. I'm going to be saying farewell to this stream. I want to say to all 12 concurrent viewers, thank you for being here with me at this moment. And you can see here, I'm showing you on my screen, my TikTok, and where you can come over to find me, all right? So I want to thank you very much for being here, and I'm going to now go over, and I'm going to be simulcasting. We're going to try to get TikTok and YouTube to simulcast together here. We'll see how lucky I am, and thank you again for being here. Look for me to pop up again if you got that notification bell clicked on, and right now, guess what time it is? Well, it's time for King Cat to say, hey, thank you for dropping in, and we will be back on the TikTok channel that we just showed you. And we'll also try to be on YouTube at the same time, so we're testing some new waters out today. And we'll catch you in a little bit, folks.